Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. This is layout 1 with my How to Heal Kit with Style this month. So this is my Close to My Heart kit. It is called, I think it's Candid Moments. Let me just check. But I am doing layout 1 from the little workbook. Yes, it's called Candid Moments. So you get 3 double layouts, which is essentially 6 12 by 12 layouts. Of basically where they give you all the products and tell you step by step how to create it. And this is the first time I'm using the Close to My Heart products. I was worried maybe it wouldn't be as fun scrapping having it laid out so perfectly for me, but I am actually having a lot of fun playing with these products, and I am working so much faster just because they give you everything you need. And so you can kind of see me laying out the basics for that first page that I showed you guys. I am going to tweak things on all of these different pages. You can kind of see here I decided to substitute one of the papers. If you get a Close to My Heart kit and you like all of the demo layouts that they showed you, you definitely don't need the extra paper because they give you everything you need. But I got the extra paper so that I could have fun creating some of my own layouts after I did the layouts in the workbook. And so I have extra paper to substitute, which is why I decided to go ahead and make this change. The background for this layout was the white paper with the little red flowers on it, and it just wasn't as much my style as this color combination. I really shy away of doing more of like plain white backgrounds, so I ended up creating, instead of the vertical strip being in this tone-on-tone pink triangle print, I made that triangle print the 12 by 12, and then I used this blue floral as that vertical strip instead, and I really like this color combination better. It just suits my style. And then you can see the original had a vertical 4x6 photo, and I just decided to use 2 horizontal 4x6s that I'm kind of matting together in a square. So my proportions will change a little bit, but I really want to showcase these products using them in a slightly different way. If you like the original How Close to My Heart says use these products, they are so articulate and precise about how you can create what they did. And so I don't want to just recreate the same thing, but I do want to recreate their layouts in my way. So that way you can see different ways you can tweak it if this is something you're interested in. So you can see I am definitely using the navy cut file. I'm using the same branding strip. I'm matting my photos in the same rainbow stripe paper. And here you can see I went and I ordered, I didn't have this at the time of my kit share, but I did go back to the Close to My Heart website. I'll leave a link in my description for some ink pads. I had a lot of fun using the navy ink pad last month, so I went ahead. Close to My Heart has coordinated ink pads for all of their collections, so I got the papaya color, which goes really, really good with this collection. And then I also got, it's kind of a neutral green. It's called Rosemary. I'm probably not going to use the Rosemary ink pad with this collection just because there's not really green in this collection, but I wanted a nice neutral green that I thought would be really versatile, so I did go ahead and pick that up while I was at their website. But I just wanted to mention that I have a new ink pad I'm going to be using this month, and I'm also going to be pulling in the blue ink pad from last month because I think they both coordinate really well. You can see I'm also gutting. This is another really good tip. Even if you're following their formula precisely, you can still gut and have extra paper to create bonus layouts at the end. And so I'm trying to show here how much I get to save by doing this. So the strip of this tone-on-tone pink paper that's behind the blue vertical piece, I'm saving that for a future layout. And then there's still a huge chunk here covered by my photos, so I'm gutting that as well. So I'm going to end up just piecing this on a scrap piece of black paper to create my 12 by 12, but that way I have all of this paper that would have just been hidden and kind of wasted, and I'll have that to use for fun layers later on. I skipped here for a second just so I can go ahead and piece together all of this back down onto that black 12 by 12. Just because you kind of already saw me do it, I don't want you to have to like re-watch it all, but now you can see it's all recomposed pretty much how I had it several times during the process videos where I am using one of their designs. I'll bring their kind of workbook back in so you can see the original I'm working from. But you can see because my photo and the proportion is a little bit different, I'm going to tweak where I put the banner that says hello. So I have the hello on my sticker sheet. That's supposed to lay on this blue banner and go under my photos. I really wanted that to be to the side of my photos, kind of coming out from my photo collage. But because it is a horizontal photo, not vertical, I'm kind of don't have a lot of room for it, so you'll kind of see how I compensate for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get all of these words on the banner. I know I definitely still want to use those products that way. I'm just going to tweak how I do it a little bit. And then I decided to pop all these letters up on some foam so they'd have some dimension as well. And it is really nice because the workbooklet, not only does it give you all the products for this, it tells you step by step how to compose the page to create what they did, but it also kind of gives you additional optional things you can do. So using dimensional foam tape, using ink to ink around the edges, those are both things they recommended. And they even give you kind of the ink pad colors that coordinate with your products if you were wanting to go that far. But I decided I would take their recommendation to pop some things up on some foam tape. So I'm just doing that really quick with these letters, and then I'll kind of figure out where to go from there. I really wanted it to come out from behind the photos, but like I said, there's not enough room for this title to really be squished in the side there. So I'll end up trimming this banner down a little bit. You can see there's some extra room to the left there. I'm going to save that for another page, and then I'm just going to squeak it in. It's going to lay over the photo, kind of in the blank spot next to my mom. I would have liked it to not be so close to her face, but just because my proportions were a little skewed, that's kind of how it ended up having to lay, and I end up liking it at the end. But that's how I kind of decided to change that from the original. And then in the original, there is a journaling spot right above this banner. I decided not to do that because there's already less space over there. And I prefer just journaling on the paper versus adding an additional like white piece of paper that I then journal on. So I decided to change that as well. So you'll see that kind of more towards the end, but the journaling spot that's in the original layout will not be there, but I am still going to embellish how they recommended embellishing. So you'll see that in a little bit. I was trying to play around with exactly where I wanted this photo to lay so that I can layer and embellish how they did with it still kind of proportionally looking as correct as possible. So now that I'm pretty happy with that, I like where the circle is. I kind of definitely have to put my photos there since I gutted that portion of the background. So that's why I decided to stick with. So that's glued down. I'm happy with my title. You can see me going in and trying to ink. I'm trying to do this tone on tone inking. I'm using the papaya ink from Close to My Heart to ink all of the pink elements, but the blue elements like the banner and the vertical floral, I'm using the navy ink pad from last month. So I kind of like that. That's not something I've ever really done before. Usually if I ink everything in the same color. And like I've mentioned in the past, it's usually always brown and black because those are typically the only two colors I have to use. So it's really fun playing with this more colorful collection and inking in multiple like actual colors. So that's really fun. I'm having a good time with that. I actually did go through my stash. You won't see it on this page, but on a couple of the pages I dug through my stash, I found a really old little mini yellow ink pad that I could pull in as well, just because there are a lot of yellow elements. So you'll see that farther on the road too. But I didn't really want to go back to this layout and ink the yellow things just because they weren't too dominant on the page. But I'm really just layering here how it was recommended in the workbook. And just, I love this coming off of the Mojo series from the past couple months. And I've had questions in the past about how to layer. And this is such a great way. Using these products and just following exactly what they do is such a good way for you to learn your own personal style and learn how to layer in general. because just following what they do, you kind of figure out what you like the look of and how to compose things. So on your own page later on, you'll kind of remember like, oh, this top cluster was a little scallopy border piece, a tag, and, you know, a doily looking thing. So I liked how that looks. So now I can pull it in on future pages as a layering ephemera cluster element. And that's kind of how I ended up growing and learning as well, was just replicating other things. So that's something I really wanted to mention too for the whole Mojo series. This is a really great resource for learning that type of thing too. But if you compare this part of my embellishing to the original project in the workbook, I'm really trying to stick to the book. Other than removing the journaling piece, everything is pretty much where it was on that layout. I do go in at the end and add a little bit more additional things, because they do give you some additional elements that you can add if you wish. So I did decide to do that. But here is the sticker sheet. I'm just pulling off everything that they had incorporated from the sticker sheet and sticking it on. So a couple of these things I'm also popping up on some foam. So that documented stickers up on some foam. The wood grain elements are popped up on foam, as well as the little here and now banner. I'll pop that up as well. So I think that looks really nice. I'm kind of toying. There's this floral coming out of the left side of the photo. It's really not an embellishment cluster, but because the other two are on the more top and right side of the page, I thought it was a perfect opportunity to create kind of a third cluster, to create that visual triangle. And I did notice there's some wood grain in the title, and then there's that one wood grain triangle in the top cluster. I really wanted to pull in some more wood grain so that seemed more balanced and it was more present on the page. So you can see me pulling in a bunch of the extra wood grain elements they give you. I felt like that one triangle up there, it just needed something else with it. It was looking kind of lonely, so I added a second triangle next to it. And then there is a ampersand I will add to the floral to the left of the photo, down where Bennett's face is. And then I'll add a wood grain heart over to the right hand cluster, just so all those wood grain elements really create a visual triangle. This is for Avery's baby album, so this is right when, pretty much right when he got home from the hospital. My mom went over to visit my sister and Avery and Bennett. So these are some of the pictures. She's holding his little baby hand there, which I think is precious, and then it's kind of hard to see in the bottom photo, but she's holding Avery, and then Bennett loves taking pictures, so you can see he's really excited about being in frame, and I just wanted to kind of showcase that. This is his little welcome home, your first visitor type of page. There is a companion page that'll be next to this that you'll see next, which I will be creating basically the other part of this double page spread from the workbook. But I'll kind of do some of the journaling here and then explain a little bit more on the other page. So this is what I decided to do, though, instead of doing that journaling spot. If you don't like the look of that, this is another option. I'm just drawing a couple lines in a coordinating color. This is the not quite navy marker from Stampin' Up! And I'm just going to do my journaling down there. It just says, since you were born during the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not allowed to visit in the hospital, but as soon as you came home, Grandma was the first to come and see you. So I definitely wanted to mention those things. I think those are things we'll definitely want to remember looking back on this book years and years ago, that was the case. And then I think we're almost done here. I think you might see the original for a quick second as I kind of compare my original to this. After the fact, after I stopped filming, I realized I wanted to add some enamel dots. So in these close-ups, you can see that I did go back and add some yellow and pink enamel dots. And I think it just needed that extra kind of texture. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.